Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to 40k 8th edition, and welcome to this unnamed planet, unknown planet, forgotten, somewhere in the Damocles Gulf in the aftermath of the war between the Imperium and the Tau Empire. We find this industrial planet that is in ruins and forgotten by the rest of the galaxy. The Tau are here today, my hunter cadre, led by my new Tau commander. The new Tau army, they're coming onto the channel for the first time today, and they've found a distress beacon on this world. They're out here exploring new planets, boldly going where no Tau has gone before, etc., etc., as part of the fifth sphere of expansion, and they found a distress signal on this planet, and they've come down to investigate. And what they've found is this guy here. This little fella, his name is Cypher. If you're not familiar with who Cypher is, you better just Google it, otherwise we'll be here forever. But he's here. He's being hunted by the Dark Angels, by the Deathwing specifically, and they're here to take him out. And it looks like he's sprung a kind of trap on us, because he's sent this distress signal in the hopes that somebody would come along and shake off his pursuers for him, and that seems to be exactly what might happen here today. The game is the Relic. There is one objective, and that is Cypher himself here in the middle of the table. The Deathwing and the Tau are going to be squaring off against each other right now to try and basically take him prisoner. And joining me again today on the channel for the second time is Andrew.
Hello.
And he's brought his Deathwing. So it's going to be a scrap between the Dark Angels and the Tau. I have very little idea of what I'm doing, because I've never played Tau before. This is brand new army debut on the channel. I hope I don't get loads of rules wrong. Probably will though. And here it all is. This is 1996 points of Tau. 1996, because I had 4 points to spare, and as it turns out, trying to put extra points in a Tau army on stuff to make up the difference is actually quite hard when you've already given everything upgrades. But here it all is. So it's a bit of an old school style list, based on what I can remember from Tau back in 4th edition when I was last playing. So it's mostly infantry. We've got the Fire Warriors, we've got the Guevesa dudes here at the back. You'll have seen these guys before if you watched the army showcase video I did for the Tau when I got them, but if you haven't, there they are. They're just going to be counted as Fire Warriors because we don't have any rules for them anymore. But it's mostly just a big, stonking great blob of crisis suits, 2 commanders, Ethereal, Fireblade, 3 broadsides, and a bunch of marker drones, pathfinders, and that's the lot essentially. Specifics of it, well, we've got a Cold Star commander here at the front. He's leading the whole thing. He is Shazo Casera, which means the sheathed blade, because the Tau sort of have these names that reflect part of their personality. They sort of get them given to them later in life. They don't sort of get them named at birth. It's a weird thing. Pay no attention to the Space Marine on his base, by the way. That's anyway. We've got 9 crisis suits in total, 3 units of 3. They're not quite what you see is what you get for these guys. These 3 here they're exactly WYSIWYG, pretty much. However, these 2 units at the back here, the slightly older ones, the weapons are correct. I've got the plasma guns and the missile launchers on these guys, and plasma guns and fusion on the guys at the back. I've been told apparently the plasma and the missile launchers is like the least points efficient option you can go with on crisis suits, so that's funny to me. Never mind. But basically every single suit has got a shield generator. That's what I've gone with. Apparently the most efficient way to run crisis suits is to just give them triple weapons, and there you go. But I've decided to go with shield generators on all of them and 2 weapons, because I feel that's the fluffier option, because Casera here, he's sort of, he doesn't like to throw lives away if he can help it. He doesn't believe in the term cannon fodder. So it makes sense to me that he would order all of his suits to have shield generators equipped on them, to make them live a bit longer. And likewise, the weapons loadout is sort of more flexible than what you probably should do, which is run like triple fusion or something like that, because it just makes more sense that you would want a flexible loadout for going into battle with, so you can deal with a variety of situations. So that's what they've got. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is crisis suits apparently not very good in 8th edition. And mine especially are probably not very good, because I've loaded them out really weirdly. So there you go. Anyway, as for the rest, pretty self-explanatory really. The broadsides, they've got the twin plasma and the big rail rifles, and all 3 of them have seeker missiles, and which I'll probably forget about actually now I think about it. But there you go, that's pretty much it, other than the Ethereal and the Fireblade, and a couple of shield drones, and a shared load of marker drones, and a couple of missile drones that come with the broadsides, and that's the lot. I have never used Tau before, I said this earlier. I'm completely new at this. This is my first battle I've ever done with them. Should I have practiced beforehand? Probably, but hey, I didn't have time. So again, if I forget a bunch of stuff, Tau veterans at home, I do apologise. Do politely point it out in the comments when I get stuff wrong, and we can correct it for future, because I do intend to play these guys quite a bit, because I really like them. I think they're awesome. So there you go, 1996 points of Tau. It's 2 battalion detachments if you're curious, so that's 13 command points, I believe. The Warlord is obviously the Cold Star here, and his relic is the Onager Gauntlet, which is the sort of Power Fist relic thing, and his Warlord trait is through Unity Devastation, because I felt like that was the one that was most appropriate to his sort of personality, and it also happens to be quite useful. That's the one where within 6 inches of him, if anything rolls a 6 to wound, it has an AP -1, additional AP -1 on the damage or weapon characteristic, whatever it's called. Anyway, so there's my Tau. Let's go look at Andrew's Dark Angels. Oh, and speaking of forgetting things, I forgot my Sept Tactics, chapter tacticsy thing for these guys. I'm running with the bog standard Tau ones today. It's in Tau the Planet. So that is, my Overwatch will be hitting on 5s and 6s instead of just 6s. I would normally have tried to use Viola. That was the one I was going to use, but the mission we're playing today has a limit on how far any unit can move. You can only ever move like 9 inches in total. And since some of the units here, like these Pathfinders, have like a movement of 7 as it is, and the Crisis suits move 8, Viola's tactic of being able to shoot in advance normally is a bit useless in this particular scenario, so I've decided to opt with Tau. I haven't decided which Sept I want to stick with in terms of this army's general trait going forwards. I'm going to sort of try all of them out, so today we're starting with Tau. And anything else? I think I finally got it all this time. Alright, let's go look at the Dark Angels. And here is a very, very elite Dark Angels army. Extremely elite by the looks of it. Would you like to talk us through it, Andrew? How many points is this, by the way?
2,000 on the nose.
Sweet. Alright, so...
Cool. Well, it is very elite, and probably too elite. We'll see how that fares. But yeah, basically it's 2 Vanguard detachments. So the first one has a unit of Terminators in, which are the guys on the right. And they're all WYSIWYG, and there's a few Stormbolters in there. Then there's a Plasma Cannon, and we've got Lightning Claws and a guy with a Thunder Hammer and a Storm Shield as well. And they'll be riding around in a Land Raider, Crusader, which has the Assault Cannons and the Hurricane Bolters and a Storm Bolter as well, so that's also WYSIWYG. Then that's going to be led by the Master, which is at the front with the winged crest. And he's my Warlord. He's going to have Fury of the Lion Warlord trait, which basically means all friendly Dark Angels within a 6 inch of him, if he charges, was charged, or performs a heroic intervention, get +1 strength in the fight phase.
Ow, nice.
So yeah, he's hopefully going to make use of that, touch wood. Then the other Vanguard detachment, we've got some Deathwing Knights, and sorry, I should have said in the first Vanguard we've also got the Ancient and the Apothecary for the other elite choices.
Oh, there they are, right, yeah. Gotcha.
So the Ancient basically gives +1 attack for units within 6 inches, and the Apothecary is an Apothecary.
Okay.
Cool.
I like that Terminator Apothecary, man. Deathwing is so cool. I wish they were better. I really do.
Me too, strangely enough. Me too. So yeah, we've got the Deathwing Knights in the other Vanguard detachments, and they're all WYSIWYG with their maces, and the Knight Master has the Flail of the Unforgiven, which I always want to call the Flail of Contempt or something random. And that Vanguard's led by the Interrogator Chaplain, who's
there he is.
I really, really wanted to make him the Warlord, but it just didn't quite make sense.
That is a fantastic model, isn't it? I love it.
It's an amazing sculpt. It's really good fun. The other elite choices in the second Vanguard are 2 Dreadnoughts. We've got a Venerable Dreadnought with a heavy plasma cannon, and we've got the Contemptor Dread with the assault cannon and the Dreadnought Fist.
That's Forge World version, right?
Both of those are Forge World, yeah.
Oh, they both are? Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. They're a pain to put together, but they look really good.
Tell me about it, dude.
I putting them together, my Custodes Telemon Dreadnought was a bit of an ordeal. But they do look so cool.
It's a badge of honour, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then backing up within the second Vanguard, we've got 1 squad of 10 Hellblasters with the standard Plasma Incinerator, and I popped in a Primaris Lieutenant as well, who's got a Plasma Pistol, and he's Lieutenant Isaiah. Not the named character that Games Workshop came up with. He's mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt that I could squeeze those in legitimately, because in the Codex it says that after a particularly nasty engagement, Belial quite likes and respects Hellblasters, so it makes sense that you could squeeze them into a Deathwing list.
Yeah.
Even though they wouldn't necessarily be trusted.
Cool. I like it. And that Dark Angels Lieutenant model does look awesome.
Yeah, there's some really nice ones at the moment. So yeah.
The new Primaris stuff looks great in general, but those new lieutenants they've done are pretty nice. Although there's now an awful lot of lieutenants because they keep releasing new ones all the time. But hey, all right. So that's how many command points then? It's like
6.
6. Okay. Wow.
In fact, no, it's not 6. It's 5.
This is like level of command points you got when we just started 8th edition right at the beginning, right? Oh.
And note that I deliberately avoided taking Brilliant Strategist as my Warlord trait.
Right, so
because I just can't do it.
Yeah, no command point farming then. All right, yeah, because this game is post FAQ now, so I'll try and remember some of the new stuff that was in it. Are we using narrative rules today? We might as well.
Yeah, it's a very narrative battle. Isn't it?
So we'll forget about all the weird bait and match rule stuff. That's not going to apply today. So all right, there we go. That's the Dark Angels. We'll come back for deployment. And deployment is complete. The tower have moved on to the table at this end. As you can see, they fanned out. The deployment map we got was the pointy arrow sort of shaped one again. And as you can see, the Fire Warrior strike teams and Pathfinders have fanned out. The broadsides are hanging out the back at the end of this huge, long, open thoroughfare here with the statue in the middle. And of course, slap bang in the middle is Cypher himself. Now, the Crisis teams and the 2 commanders are still inbound on their manta dropship, and they'll be dropping onto the battlefield shortly. But for now, the battlefield is commanded by the ethereal Aungal here, and the Fireblade Cadre commander as well. They've got control on the ground for the moment until the battle suits arrive on the scene, which is going to happen pretty shortly, I think. The Dark Angels, for their part, they've crowded into the ruins in wait. Very sensible move by Andrew there. If I end up going first, there'll be a lot of firepower coming their way, and as he's positioned right now, there's not a lot of my broadsides to shoot at. So, they'd love to pop open that Land Raider, since that's what broadsides are designed to do. But it's very well hidden at the moment, so that's not an option on the table. So, also in addition, a stratagem has been used. Would you like to talk us through that one, Andrew?
Yes, indeed. I'm going to use Hunt the Fallen for 1 CP, so I'm going to use one of my precious 5 command points. So I'm down to 4 before we even start. But basically, I select an infantry character. Right. Which is going to be your ethereal. I can't even say it.
My ethereal with his bendy stick. Yeah.
Yeah, and once he's been selected, he is suspected to know the whereabouts of a fallen. I think he might know where Cypher is, but kind of we all do at this stage.
We all do this. It's a bit obvious, yeah.
But anyway, he's not going to give up his secrets easily, so he gets +1 attacks. So I'm doing you a favour in that regard.
Nice.
But I re-roll all failed hit rolls for all Dark Angels that target him in the fight phase, and I can re-roll failed charge rolls for Deathwing units. As there's quite a lot of Deathwing on the board,
crikey,
that's going to be quite handy.
Alright, so if I don't let them get anywhere near the squishy ethereal, basically, because he is super dead if they do. That's interesting.
It's kind of useless, but it's really fun.
It's fun. It's great.
It's great, good for the narrative. And as we discussed off camera, the it makes the most sense to put it on the ethereal because these guys know a lot. They know a lot, and they don't tell the rest of the tower about it either. They're an interesting bunch. I've been doing lots of reading about them in various Black Library novels and stuff like that. The ethereals are quite fascinating indeed. They're almost Farseer-like in their ability to sort of tug on the strands of fate and see the future and things like that, even though they're not themselves psychics, so at least as far as we know. But hey, there you go. So that makes sense. I like it. So it's that time. I'm going to roll off to see who goes first. You're going to get a big hefty +1 to this roll because you finished deploying way before me.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. 2 and a 1.
Which becomes a 2.
So we go again. Go again.
Build
Okay.
the tension.
Ooh. Alright. I was going to say, I kind of sabotaged your dice there by accident, but I'm going to give you that because you rolled higher anyway. That was a 2, so... That was awkward.
Except that's your dice. That's my dice.
That's... Oh, yeah.
So you get that one, mate. Green for Dark Angels.
Anyway, okay. Do you want to seize the initiative?
Of course I do.
Go for it.
No.
Oh, dear.
I'm getting all my ones out of the way early again.
Alright, so it looks like it's Tower turn 1 coming up next. Apparently, because I can't tell green dice from red ones. What is wrong with me? Alright, anyway. I had a long night, folks. I've not had the most sleep. Please forgive. Let's go. Tau turn 1 coming up next. Okay, we're in Tau turn 1. We're in the shooting phase, but I'll sum up the movement for you. Basically, these Fire Warrior strike teams have moved forward. These guys are walling off this side here as potential screening against deep striking. Pathfinders advanced to grab Cypher, and these Fire Warriors advanced into these ruins here, and the broadsides and their accompanying drones have moved up the table, and meanwhile over here the commander, well both the commanders and their crisis teams have jumped in with their drones, focusing on taking out this blob of enemies over here, particularly the Hellblasters. Now, we've done some of the shooting already. Most of it was fairly inconsequential aside from the marker lights. So these drones here with their marker lights, these marker drones, and the chassis from each of these 3 Fire Warrior teams, they all fired their marker lights. We managed to get 2 on this Venerable Dreadnought here. We managed to get the full 5 on the Hellblasters at the back there, which means that basically, if you're not familiar with the town, the way they work, marker lights are kind of like laser designator things. The more of them you point at an enemy unit, the more bonuses you get to hit with your shooting against them. Now, getting 5 means I can reroll 1s to hit against them, and I add 1 to my hit roll, so I hit on 3s rerolling 1s with my guns for most units. The 2 marker lights on the Venerable Dreadnought there means that I can fire Seeker missiles at him, basically, which these broadsides have some of. So, aside from the marker lights, these 3 Fire Warrior teams opened up with their pulse rifles and did absolutely nothing to the Hellblasters. And these 2 missile drones here as part of the broadsides kind of thing. These 2 missile drones fired their missile pods at the Hellblasters and actually killed 2 of them. So that's all that's happened really. I've killed 2 Hellblasters and that's it. So you haven't missed much in the shooting phase so far. But now we're getting to the big guns. So I'm beginning with these broadsides, and let's see. They can't really see the Land Raider at all from where they are, so they're going to fire. Their twin plasma is out of range, sadly, but they do have the Seeker missiles, and they do have the rail guns. So what I'm going to do is check line of sight before I do anything else. Alright, so what's actually going to happen is I'm going to fire all 3 heavy rail rifles at the Venerable Dreadnought over there, because that's the only thing they can really see. And I'm going to hold on to the Seeker missiles for now. So going through all that effort to get 2 marker lights on the Venerable Dreadnought to use the Seeker missiles wasn't really that useful in the end. So yeah, we're just going to fire all the rail guns at the Venerable. So as the infantry and the broadside stomp up here through the seat, as the commander and his cadre here drop down in a carefully planned pincer movement, I imagine. The tower very methodical in their way of war. Gives out the call to open fire
and hit this sort of hard point of enemies here from both sides, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to open fire with the rail rifles, these huge monstrosities here, which are designed to basically kill enemy tanks from like several kilometers away, really. That's what they do in the fluff. So they're 2 shots each, which means I need 6 dice, actually. So these will hit on 4s, because I've got a target lock, which means that they, even though they move, they don't get the -1 for moving and firing heavy weapons. And yeah, so it's going to be 4s re-rolling 1s against the Venerable. So, and I roll 3 2s, so that's not great, but hey. So then this is strength 8, so this will, yeah, wounding on 3s. And I get 1 wound. That was poor. That is AP -4.
Okay,
So,
cool.
do you get a save?
I don't think we do, no. I don't think we're getting him run.
No. Okay. Well, in that case, it is D6 damage for 2. Now, hold on a second. Okay, it was indeed 2 damage. I just wanted to check to see if the rail rifles had some sort of melter rule on them where you pick 2d6. 2d6 pick the highest for the damage, but they don't. So 2 damage down on the Venerable Dreadnought as one of the rail rifle shots smacks into him, but he's not down yet. Now I am going to choose to use the Seeker missiles now. Post the latest FAQ, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can choose on the fly whether or not you want to fire a once per game weapon like the Seeker missiles. So I think I'm allowed to do this. So I am going to fire the Seekers at him. So these again will be hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s, thanks to the 2 mark lights. So that is, well, that's much better. That's 3 hits. And this again is strength 8. So dropping dice everywhere. Winning on 3s. 2 wounds. This is AP -2.
Okay, 5 ups. Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye, Seeker missiles. You were so worth taking.
That's
all right.
the decision for you.
So the main battle line of the tower has opened fire and not done a whole lot of damage at all whatsoever. In fact, I think, honestly, the missile drones did the most damage, which is a bit embarrassing. So, yeah. Now we'll move over to part 2 of the army, which is the battlesuit cadre over here as they open fire. Alright, it's battlesuit time. Now, it should be pointed out here that these guys did deep strike on turn 1, and I'm sure somebody potentially out there has already commented saying, oh, you can't do that because of like the beta rules and things like that. We're playing narrative, so we're using the narrative rule set, even though this isn't technically a narrative mission, but yeah, whatever, we can do what we like. So that means we can deep strike on turn 1 if we want to, but those beta rules and stuff do not apply. Bloody bloody blah, disclaimer over. This crisis team here is going to open fire against the Hellblasters. They're going to fire the opening volley from this lot as they do come down here and do their kind of superhero landing thing and start shooting. So first off, we've got the missile pods, which are going to hit on against these guys with the 5 marker lights on them. They'll hit on 3s, re-rolling 1s. So that is, okay, pretty good. And they'll wound on 3s. Not so good. And I didn't get any 6s to wound there. In fact, for the Unity Devastation thing, so no additional AP minus, but these will be -1, these 2 here, so.
For 'em. Nope.
Okay, so D3 damage, that kills 1, and 1 is down to 1 wound.
Cool.
Now I'll do the plasma, so that's 3 shots because we're not in rapid fire range. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, because strength 6. 1 wound, AP -3.
Okay, 6 up. Nope.
Okay, and that's just another wound, so we've killed 2 more Hellblasters. Okay, first round of fire done, 2 Hellblasters killed, and now it's the second unit of crisis suits here. They've got their fusion blasters and their plasma. I'm going to fire the plasma first at the Hellblasters, so hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. 2 hits, winning on 3s, 2 wounds, AP -3.
Oh.
Okay, another Hellblaster is dead. Now, it's splitting fire time because the 3 fusion blasters on them, which for you Imperial players, fusion blasters are basically melter guns with an 18-inch range. They're firing at the Venerable Dread here. So 4s, re-rolling 1s. Re-roll that 1. Okay, 3 hits. That's a strength 8, so 3s to wound. 3 wounds, AP -4.
No save.
No save. 3d6 damage. I'm going to guess he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Does he explode?
No, that would have been just insult to injury right there, I think, really. Okay, so, right. Another Hellblaster killed, I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Dreadnought's gone as well. Alright. The battlesuit shooting has been pretty successful so far, more than I expected, actually. So now it's down to this squad of 3 crisis suits here, and they're firing their burst cannons at the Hellblasters and their fusion, unaided with no mark lights at all at the Contemptor Dreadnought. So I'm going to start with the burst cannons. This is 12 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Not a single one. So that's not bad. Alright. Strength 5, so a wound on 3s. And that many wounds with, let's see, those are no AP. That's AP -1 because of through Unity Devastation.
Strength 5. And is this on the Hellblasters?
Yes.
So, cool.
Oh, actually, you know what? Normally that would be through Unity Devastation, additional -1. But I forgot. I get it confused with the Storm of Fire thing that Space Marines have. It's slightly different. You actually have to declare first which unit you want to have through Unity Devastation on it. You know, which enemy unit. I didn't do that, and I forgot. So. No AP. I'm not gonna take that because otherwise I won't learn. So.
Cool. So is that 2, 4, 6, 8?
Yeah. 8 with no AP at all. So.
Here we go. 3 ups. Cool.
So.
Another Hellblaster dead.
Okay, another Hellblaster dead, and now I'll fire the fusion quickly. This will hit on 4s. 1 hit, and it does. I'm assuming that's tough. Strength 8. Contempt
7.
Yeah, it does wound.
Cool. So is it 4 again?
Yeah, AP -4.
Yeah, that's fine. It goes straight through.
Okay, and D6 damage. 4.
Cool.
So 4 damage down on the Contemptor, and another Hellblaster bites the dust. Okay, almost done now with the battle suits. They've made quite a dent. We're on to the commanders now. I'm going with the man-in-chief himself here in his Cold Star. Burst Cannon and Missile Pod are going into the Hellblasters. His fusion is going into the Contemptor. Now, because he's a commander, he hits on 2s. He's a beast. So I'm going to start with the Burst Cannon. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Yep, that's good. And wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, no AP.
Save 1.
Yeah.
Go through.
This time I am going to remember to declare through Unity Devastation on the Hellblasters, so... Not that it wouldn't have applied there, because not only 6s to wound, but hey. Alright, so now Missile Pod. 2 hits. 3s to wound. 2 wounds.
What's the minus?
I believe it's -1.
Save 1, fair 1.
Alright.
That's the dead Hellblaster.
D3 damage.
It's not the dead one either way.
Oh, right, was he only on 1 left?
He was.
Ah, okay, right, cool. So that's the Cold Star now, and the last one remaining is the Enforcer, second in command, who has the Cyclic Ion Blaster that I can't remember the rules for, so I need to go look that up. Okay, after some lengthy looking in the book for it, I found the Cyclic Ion Blaster rules. It's 3 shots. You can overcharge it, which I am doing, because I've got reroll 1s on these Hellblasters here, so the Cyclic Ion Blaster is going into them, and so is the Plasma Rifle, so... yeah, here we go. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Wait, 2s, rerolling 1s because he's a commander. There's the 1. Don't you dare. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alright. So 3 hits. Strength 8, so wounding on 2s. 3 wounds. AP -2. Normally -1, but he's got ATS, which is
cool.
Assisted Targeting System or something.
5 ups. Nope.
So it's -2, and then it's D3 damage a pop. So...
Dead Hellblaster. Dead Hellblaster. Dead Hellblaster.
Okay.
Unit's gone.
Unit is wiped. And that's going to conclude the tower shooting phase. The rest of the army was a bit meh, but the crisis suit that dropped in here on the left hand flank, this commander, he knew what he was doing apparently, because he's landed a devastating blow there. Perfect example of Montcar, as the Tau call it. So not bad. Andrew was joking that
Now we won't have to mind wipe the Hellblasters.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've managed to wipe out the Hellblaster squad and the Venerable Dreadnought, and that concludes the Tau turn. Ooh, actually, no, it doesn't. There's one last thing I need to do with these Pathfinders here. I have a stratagem. Okay, actually, I don't have a stratagem as it turns out. What I was going to do was use the stratagem called Recon Sweep to have the Pathfinders here in their shooting phase move 2d6 inches again, back this way, taking Cypher with them. Unfortunately, the stratagem does specify that it has to be used at the start of the shooting phase, and I forgot. So once again, I'm not going to use it, even though Andrew very graciously offered to let me do it anyway. I'm not going to, because at least that way, hopefully, I'll remember next time. So that's it for the Tau's turn. It's going to be Dark Angel's turn 1 up next, and I need to brace myself for the counterattack. I've seen Andrew sneakily measuring around the board for potential deep strikes, so
I'm hungry for the challenge.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Okay, so Dark Angel's turn 1 up next. It's the Dark Angel's turn 1 movement phase, or more specifically the end of it, and this is what's happened. The Contemptor is marching straight down the street directly at Cypher. The Lieutenant is following him. This Land Raider has come around the corner here and is still cleverly maintaining some line of sight blocking between him and the nasty stuff. In the meantime, though, the big thing is this huge blob of Deathwing Terminators has arrived over here, very close to my 2 battlesuit commanders, uncomfortably close, in fact, and I believe they're going to be doing something weird in Dark Angel.
Yeah, I'm going to spend more precious command points. I've got to spend 3 on this because it's a big unit of Terminators. I'm going to do Deathwing Assault. So basically I get to shoot immediately, and obviously I'm going to shoot at this blob, but I'm going to use this to get rid of the shield drones so that I can whittle you down in the shooting phase.
Gotcha, right.
So
this is sanctioned cheating then, basically.
Well, we had Dark Angels.
You're shooting in the movement phase,
yeah,
alright.
Yeah, we've got elite troops dropping in to shoot.
It's alright, I can move in the shooting phase, so it's fairly even, alright.
If you remember.
So yeah, there you go. The Deathwing
Yes.
have made their counterattack, and it has the potential to be really, really quite nasty. I like to think a lot of the Tau in this particular cadre that's been assembled, they're kind of fairly new recruits, but certainly a lot of the Fire Warriors and that the Crisis suits are obviously going to be veterans, but there's new recruits probably haven't faced the Adeptus Astartes before, and they've heard about them certainly, but they've never actually seen them in action. Whereas these Guevesa guys here, these humans, they know all about the Astartes by reputation, and they're probably quaking in their boots right now because they know what's coming. The boogeymen are here to get them that they've heard so much about all their lives. So, yeah, let's do it then.
So yeah, I'm going to put all the Stormbolt of Fire in this Deathwing Assault into the drones, and then I'm going to put the Plasma Cannon, if all goes to plan, I'm going to put it into your commander, the nearest one.
Yep. Okay.
So we'll do the Stormbolters first.
Here we go. Force to wound, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, quite a fair old few. All right, so they just have a 4-up save. So they do have a 4-up invuln on account of being shield drones, but may I use these?
Of course, dirty tabletop tactics dice. So.
Yes. So 4-up saves on them. They're very unlikely to survive this. No, they do not, and the shield drones are removed. So they are gone, which means my tiny screen at the back and my ability to do savior protocols on my commanders is gone.
There's always a plan.
There's always a plan.
Okay, Plasma Cannon into the nearest commander, this chap.
Enforcer, right.
So it's heavy D3 for 1. Cool. Oops. Hits. Wounds.
Okay, any minus?
Yep, it is -3.
Ooh, 6-up save then. Makes it. DZTV dice, thank you. Alright. We're not even in the shooting phase yet. I don't know why I'm celebrating, but
No, that was just the opening salvo.
That was the starter.
got the main course to come yet. All right, so was that the lot?
That's a lot from that, yeah.
Okay, well, movement phase concluded. Deathwing shooting phase coming up next. Okay, it's the shooting phase, and now it's a similar thing again. These guys are firing again. All the storm bolters, including the apothecary, we're rolling him along with them, is going into this crisis team here. The plasma cannon's going into the enforcer commander, the second in command there as well.
Cool. So lots of rapid fire shots, hitting on 3.
5 to wound.
Okay, that's pretty good, I think, actually.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. No minus on these, obviously.
Alright. So, 3 up saves. Oh, actually, I do have the Iridium battlesuit in there, so I'll try and tank them on him first with his 2 up save. So, yep. 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 No. Yeah, alright, so he does lose a wound. Okay, so we're firing the plasma now, and it was D3 shots.
That's just 1.
Oh dear.
My good rolling continues. This is into the commander. And it misses.
Well, okay then. Have the Inquisition been teaching you guys to shoot? Is that what's going on here?
It's just harsh.
Sorry, salt the wounds, salt the wounds, I'll shut up. Bolt of Fire has chatted down this main thoroughfare here, and so have the assault cannons. The Dreadnought has fired his weapons at the Pathfinders, and the Land Raider here has poked round the corner and let fly with all of his automatic weapons, and they've just blown explosive shells into this main front line of Fire Warriors and Pathfinders here. The Pathfinders that were securing Cypher are dead. These Guivesa Fire Warrior guys here, they've taken 3 casualties. These have taken 2 casualties. There was some splitting fire going on. It wasn't quite as efficient as you would have liked, was it? No. But, having said that, Cypher is now uncontested, and you put a dent in my front screen of Fire Warriors here, so that is the rest of the Dark Angel shooting phase complete now, really. They don't have a lot of units to shoot with at the moment, so... meanwhile, over here, we're going into the charge phase. Now, this unit here, these Deathwing Terminators, were considering charging my commanders and the rest of the battle suits over here. However, because I'm using the Tau chapter tactics there, I forget what they're called, the Sept tactics rules, which means my Overwatch hits on 5s or 6s, and these guys have the For the Greater Good rule, which means that their Overwatch hits, well, no, they're not only does their Overwatch hit on 5s and 6s, but if you charge one of us, you have to take Overwatch from all of us, basically, is the simple version of that, the way that rule works. So in order to avoid getting shot at by several plasma rifles, missile pods, fusion blasters, burst cannons, and all the rest of it, they've decided to make their charge in this direction instead, and they're charging these Fire Warriors here. Now, For the Greater Good will come into effect here as well. This unit of Fire Warriors will be able to lend their aid in giving Overwatch against these guys, but it's significantly less dangerous because these are all just Strength 5 AP nothing. So that's what's happening. I'm going to do my Overwatch. We are going to yell, "For the Greater Good!" and shoot a bunch of low-yield plasma at you. So
Bring it.
I'm going to have to grab a bunch of dice. Right, they see the charge coming. Volleys of pulse rifle plasma fire comes shooting through these ruins here, and one of the Terminators does indeed take a wound from all of that Overwatch fire. So now the question is, do you make that charge?
Probably not, but let's go for it. No, that's 6. I needed a 9.
Damn. All right.
You know what? I've got 1 command point left. I said I wasn't going to re-roll, and I spent a lot of time saying that re-rolls are a waste of time.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of enjoying this and trying to get in,
Okay.
I'm going to re-roll.
Go for it then.
Both dice?
Yep.
No. Get exactly the same.
Oh well. All right. So no
Serves me
charge
right.
made.
Serves me right.
The Terminators are a bit slow. They couldn't quite make the distance, but they did focus their attention on shooting for the most part, rather than getting into combat this turn. Okay, well, Cypher over here, I think perhaps previously was grinning a fiendish grin as he saw all those Dark Angels over there drop to the Crisis suits. He beginning to think his plan has come into fruition, but maybe not so happy now that all of his Pathfinder bodyguards have been blown to bits. So, no more charges, I guess.
Nope.
Nope. So that's the end of Dark Angel's turn 1. And I've got some thinking to do as I go into Tau turn 1, because my movement is going to win or lose me this game, I think. So, there you go. Tau turn 2 up next. Okay, here we are at the end of Tau turn 2 movement phase, and this is what's happened. The commander has belted out over the comms. Secure the objective. Secure the Guela. We will deal with the Terminators. So that's what they've done. The other unit of Pathfinders I have has moved and advanced up to grab Cypher with the help of the Ethereal, who invoked the element Zephyr's Grace. They got to reroll their advance roll and get up there. Fire Warriors have moved forward. The battle suits have stomped forward as well with their accompanying drones, and we formed a bit of a wall over here that we may not need, to tell you the truth, because meanwhile over here the commanders and their battlesuit cadre have repositioned themselves slightly. They've basically flipped around, or have the fly keyword, so that makes that very easy to do, to reposition and rotate and face these Terminators here, who hopefully I intend to eliminate in this turn, which will leave me only with this Dreadnought and the contents of the Land Raider to deal with. Oh, and the all-important Primaris Lieutenant, of course. So that's the plan. Also, these Fire Warriors advanced up here onto the top floor of this building. And that is my movement phase complete. We're now going to go into the shooting phase, and before I forget it this time, I am going to use Recon Sweep. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select a Pathfinder team from your army. That unit can immediately move 2d6 inches but cannot shoot or charge this turn. So, basically going to take Cypher and run. 2d6 inches. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they're going 8 with Cypher. And with that out of the way, that's what it looks like. The Pathfinders have moved back this way with Cypher in tow. And now we're into the shooting phase proper. So it's going to be a case of open fire with all guns, I believe was the Dawn of War quote. So, yeah, it looks like I'm probably going to do the pulse rifles and the marker lights. And I'll get back to you in the aftermath of that. Okay, we're into the tower shooting phase. Lots of small arms fire has occurred. The Fire Warriors have belted out pulse rifle rounds. Left, right and centre, and marker lights have been designating targets. These Terminators now have 5 marker lights on them, which means that I'm going to be hitting them 3s, rerolling 1s against them, which is marvellous. It's going to make getting rid of them much, much easier. This Contemptor over here has 1 marker light on him, and has taken some wounds from the volley fire pulse rifles down here, the Cadre Fireblade down here, giving the guys over here volley fire on their plasma. Well, it is a plasma rifle, the pulse rifle technically, but it's not actually a plasma rifle. That's a separate thing. Giving them volley fire on their pulse rifles so they could fire an extra shot when in rapid fire range with them, basically, which is what they have done. 24 shots fired off at the Contemptor. They dropped a wound on him. So not bad. In the meantime, it's time to fire the big guns. So we're going to start with these broadsides. Their twin plasma rifles are going to be targeting the Contemptor, maybe chip off a few more wounds on him, if we get lucky. And the rail rifles are going to be firing at the Land Raider. So, I'm going to start with plasma rifles. Not in rapid fire range, sadly, but these will hit on 4s, rerolling 1s. Roll 5 2s. Okay. Okay. Dice gods, I see how it is. Alright. Okay, fine. I got 1 hit. Wounds on a 5+. Aha, very funny, dice gods. Alright, so that was... I'm not going to talk about that. That was dreadful. Alright, so now the rail rifles at the Land Raider with no marker light benefits whatsoever, unfortunately. So... Oh, wait, no, the Cadre Fireblade hit with his marker light with 1 on him, so yeah, they will get to reroll 1s. My bad. Alright. Hey, look at that, 2 1s. And I get 1 hit anyway. Alright. My broadside's not doing very well. Alright. 1 hit. Strength 8. Toughness 8. 4+ to wound. Alright, never mind, broadsides. I see how it is. Alright, we're going to have to rely on the crisis teams again to do some serious damage this turn. Oh, and as far as this is concerned over here, I am using a stratagem called Focused Fire. So use the stratagem after a Tau Sept unit from your army inflicts an unsaved wound on an enemy unit in the shooting phase, which we did on the Terminators. One of the pulse rifles down here, one of these fire warriors got lucky and sniped one of the Terminators that was on 1 wound. Basically, I can add 1 to wound rolls for other Tau Sept units from my army that target the same enemy unit in this phase. So all of these suits will get +1 to wound against these Terminators, which could be really nasty. Okay, we're opening up with this first unit of Crisis suits here with the burst cannons and the fusion against the Terminators. So hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. And we roll those 1s. Okay, significantly fewer 2s this time. Right, and now these will wound on 3s normally, but 2s thanks to Focus Fire. And I rolled a pair of 6s. Now, through Unity Devastation means that on these guys over here, these Terminators, these will be -1. So I got 2 saves at -1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at AP 0. So
7 2-ups. I failed 1, so that's dead Terminator.
okay,
And 2 3-ups. Fail 1.
right. So 1 dead Terminator and 1 down to a single wound. Good start. Now they're going to fire their fusion at them as well. So these will hit on 3s. You're rolling 1.
Normal service resumed.
Okay. You know what? Like we were saying this off camera, right? This is how you know. Are these actually DZTV dice? They are. Look, Winters, you touched these dice, didn't you? You did. That's why they keep rolling 2s. Anyway, I won't complain about my dice rolling. People get very annoyed when I do that. Apparently, at least when I say people, there's like one commenter got absolutely furious with me for complaining about my dice rolls. So
Next unit.
yeah. Okay, Commander-in-Chief over here, he's going to open up fire next with his high-capacity burst cannon, his fusion, and his missile pod. So, the burst cannon first, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Lovely. And now wounding on 2s. Excellent. So, 1 6 rolled, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Regular and 1 at -1.
6 2-ups. 1 goes 3. That's another dead Terminator.
And then a 3 up as well. Wow, okay.
It's not good.
Burst cannon's more effective than I thought. Right, fusion now, hitting on 2 and hits. Wounding on a 2, wounds, AP -4, so you've got your invuln.
5 up. Oh god.
Okay. D6 damage. He's
Doesn't matter.
okay, he's dead anyway. He only had 1 wound left. Then the missile pod. 2 shots. Both hit. Strength 7, so again wounding on 2s because of focused fire. 2 wounds at -1.
3-ups. There we go.
There you go.
Lawrence touched those ones.
Okay, second in command is up next with his plasma rifle and his cyclic ion blaster. Going to start with the cyclic ion blaster. Hitting on 2s. I am overcharging this as well, by the way. And wounding on 2s as well again. Actually, it'd be 2s anyway because it's strength 8 when overcharged, but hey, yeah. And I rolled a 1, okay. And that is 2 at -2 because of his ATS.
Okay, 4-ups. 1 goes 3 again.
D3 damage. 2 damage. Dead Terminator. That leaves
Sergeant
2.
and
Yeah.
the hammer guy left.
2 left alive in the apothecary. Okay, right. Now his plasma rifle. 1 shot. Hits. Hit wounds. AP -4 on this, technically, because of ATS.
Cool.
So,
Storm Shield guy.
okay.
1 goes 3.
Alright. That is 1 damage. And, okay. Let's do this Crisis Suit Squad next. With 3 3 plasma rifles. They might just be in rapid fire range, but I'd have to measure that and I can't be bothered, so we're going to say they're not. 3 shots, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, 3 hits, hitting on 2s, 3 wounds, -3. Okay.
Yeah, well, that happened.
I've been there, man. I play Custodes, and I can't roll for toffee when on their saves, so... okay, right. That leaves the Apothecary standing there alone. However, he's a character, right?
Yep.
Which means I can't shoot him, because that Contemptor's on the other side of the building, technically closer. Rules as written, people. I know it doesn't make sense, but them's the breaks. Well, the commander was true to his word. I will deal with the Terminators, he said, and deal with them he did. Him and his battle suits. They have been wiped out to a man. The Apothecary remains, but we can't target him with any remaining units, unfortunately, because of the character rules. And so that is how the battlefield stands at the moment. We've got the Contemptor, Lieutenant, the Land Raider full of Deathwing Knights, and this Apothecary over here. It's looking a bit grim for the Dark Angels. Cypher's plan seems to have worked very well, but I've been told that the Dark Angels are adjusting their plans somewhat. Is that true?
We like Grim, so we're just going all out for Cypher, and we're going all out for your Ethereal, because he knew where Cypher was all along.
Yep.
So it can for him not to.
It is no coincidence that he happened to be in this system when Cypher was, right? You know. So that's the goal right now. You're saying basically kill this Ethereal and take Cypher if possible.
Yeah, and if I can do that, I'll leave with a smile on my face.
Awesome. All right. So that's the end of my turn. There's no morale to do because the Dark Angels know no fear, and the Deathwing especially extra know no fear because they are actually fearless. And that's it. Obviously, no charging from me. Technically, I could. I'm not going to though because I think it would be silly. So, Dark Angels turn 2, coming up right now. Alright, this Dark Angels turn 2. It's a movement and shooting summary again. This street is full of angry Deathwing. They're charging up straight through the middle here. Cypher, the traitor, is in sight. I've just moved him back to the back here rather than there, just so he's out of the way for charging and stuff to come in there, because he's not technically a solid model that you can't charge over. So for wobbly modelish purposes, he's at the back, but he's really there anyway. So they see Cypher, they see the traitor, and they see the Ethereal that they want dead as well, and they're going for the throat. Their shooting has occurred. As you can see, Fire Warriors, pretty much all of them covering this front screen here have been eliminated. This squad of Guivesa has still 3 remaining guys in it, but probably not long for this world. And the Land Raider opened fire at the Crisis Suits over here and killed 1 and reduced another 1 to 2 wounds. So the Crisis Suits have taken some casualties. And now we're getting into the far more interesting phase for the Dark Angels, which is the charge phase.
Well, I did just realise actually that I'm my Stormbolter from the Lonely Apothecary.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
You know, I'm going to do something that is hilariously churlish because I forgot to use it earlier I forgot to use it earlier on something that would have actually mattered. But yeah, Neuro Web System Jammer. Use this stratagem at the start of the enemy shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit within 18 inches of a battlesuit commander from your army. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls made for that unit this phase. Yeah, I'm going to do it on him for 2 command points. You're going to -1 to hit with your Stormbolter.
Even though it says at the start of the phase, I'm going to let you off.
Oh, you're right. Whatever.
No, it's okay. We'll go with it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so I'm now hitting on 4s. I'm just at this nearest unit of whatever, drones or... it's going to miss anyway. 1 hit. Try that again. Doesn't work.
Alright.
So that was a great
I'm glad we did that. I shall cross my 2 command points off. Well spent.
Okay,
anyway.
I'm going to start off with charging the Contemptor Dread into those traitor humans because they just don't deserve to live anymore.
Alright, cool. Do I want to follow the greater good with them? Yeah, sure. Why not? So I need to make sure this is 6 inches here.
For the greater good comes the cry from the Fireblade Cadre commander as the Dreadnought charges in to finish off these Gravessa. These Tau are going to stand with their allies and they're opening fire. So what's happening is basically they're overwatching, obviously. The Cadre Fireblade is overwatching. So are these guys, and so is this broadside here and this missile drone, basically. They're all going to rush to the aid of their friends caught out here against the Dreadnought. And I've already rolled all the pulse rifle shots for this lot. I've got this many wound rolls to make. Volley fire ensuring that I get a hell of a lot of shots, and because I'm from the Tau Sept today, I've watched hits on 5s and 6s, so I got a lot. Alright, so now these are going to have to wound on 5s and 6s. I got 1. This is the oh, 2. You see, this is the problem with this is what happens when you turn the camera on. The rolls suddenly do that. But yeah, okay, we've got 2 with no AP. We did a wound, yay! Alright, so now the missile drone with his missile pod, so no hits from him. The broadside with his plasma rifle, twin plasma rifle, no hits. And the all-important rail rifle, this could really make the difference. 1 hit. Alright. So, wounds on a 3. It wounds. AP -4.
Okay, there's no invuln with this guy, so that's just a straight goes through.
D6 damage. 2. He's not dead.
He's on 1 wound.
He's on 1 wound, but he's not
Does
dead.
he get in?
Yeah, he does. Okay, the Deathwing Knights have made their charge in, along with the Chaplain and the Ancient. They did lose 2 Terminators to Overwatch fire, though, from these 2 broadsides here and the Pathfinders as well. These 3 broadsides, I'm going to point this out now in case it's unclear, they are 3 separate units of 1 broadside each. I have been sort of moving them and shooting with them all at the same time to save time, basically, so far, but they are 3 separate units. Partially because I wanted to take a heavy support detachment, but I didn't have an extra HQ to make it happen, but I left them in the list anyway, so whatever. Anyway, they're in. They're going to smash some drones and probably kill this Ethereal as well while they're at it, because of the stratagem that was used that that makes them extra hate him.
Should point out the stratagem does nothing for the game. It's just purely to give me something to enjoy.
Yeah. It's just for fun. It's great.
I was toying just then while you were talking whether I should have put all my attacks into the Ethereal and not bother going after Cypher. But that's probably a bit daft.
I should also point out as well, just as a general thing, this Terminate here is actually stood where Cypher is in game terms. We've just moved him out of the way because otherwise his model would get in the way. But yeah, he's stood on top of the objective, which happens to be Cypher. So, all right.
Cool. Well, I'm going to put the Flail of the Unforgiven into the Fire Warrior Squad or Pathfinder Squad or whatever they are. They're all sushi to me. So
How dare you!
I'm going to put one of the maces into them as well.
Okay.
Then I'm going to put the other mace into the Ethereal.
Right.
We're going to then put everything else into the drones and the Ethereal, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Right.
Cool. So I'll start with the Flail. Nightmaster gets 3 attacks. So on 3s. Yeah.
Not bad.
And I should say that with this, wounds roll over.
Yeah, I heard about this one. The damage carries over.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to wound you on 3s. Cool.
So that is 2 Pathfinders. What's the AP?
I don't know why I'm re-rolling. I'm just getting excited. The AP on the mace is -3.
Oh, no save for them then.
And it's 2 damage apiece.
Alright.
So that is 4 damage to go through.
That 4 damage does go through. Now, normally, for those of you watching at home, sports fans, that would mean 2 dead Pathfinders, because each Pathfinder takes 2 damage, even though they've only got 1 wound each. However, the flail thing has a special rule, which means that the damage points that these guys take spill over to other models. So actually, 4 Pathfinders die instead of 2. Okay, the drones have been eliminated. The Pathfinder that was remaining has been killed. Decided to do that off camera because that was pretty much a certainty.
Now this is a little bit out of sequence because we're attacking with this guy against Ethereal as part of a squad that already attacked, but the Chaplain and the Ancient also attack the drones. But we're leaving it till last just because it's fun and cool and epic. As the last Terminator here attacks the Ethereal.
Cool.
So
he gets an extra attack because the Ancient. We've got to mention that before, but doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, we forgot the Ancient's +1 attack and the Chaplain's reroll and failed hits as well, but it hasn't mattered so far because they've killed everything they've attacked. So
not failed hits, failed wounds.
Failed wounds, sorry.
I always get that wrong. Okay, so first off on 3s we're hitting 2 hits, wounding on 2s I guess because it's strength 8. Yep. 2 wounds on the Ethereal.
Right.
And that is -2.
Okay,
And
so
-3 damage.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do Saviour Protocols. This missile drone here is going to selflessly sacrifice it in order to save the Ethereal. I just need to double check if it can actually do that in close combat, mind you. Okay, so Saviour Protocols does indeed work in close combat as well. And crucially, this drone here, which is technically a separate unit from that drone, is also within 6 inches of the Ethereal. So the 2 missile drones are going to selflessly fly in there to deflect the attacks of the lone Terminator against this Ethereal and save his life on a 2+. Okay, they both do. So they both take a mortal wound each, which means they are killed and removed. I'll come back for those bases in a second. But the Ethereal, he is untouched, and he'll be fighting back. Okay, this is what things look like at the end of the fight phase for the Dark Angels. These 3 remaining Guivessa over here have been, well, chopped to bits by the Lieutenant. And the Ethereal, he is surrounded by the Terminators and the other characters after they've done their consolidation moves. They've also managed to lock up this broadside in close combat while they were at it. So now it's time for the broadside and the Ethereal to fight back. I'm not expecting miracles here, but we'll see. The broadside first, 3 attacks. 2 attacks actually, never. Hitting on 5+. No. So the Ethereal now, he hits on 3s with 3 attacks. He gets 2 hits. Oh, he'll be attacking the Terminators.
Yeah.
And he's got strength 5 with the Honor Blade, so a wound on 3s. 2 wounds, no AP.
Okay, 2 up. Yeah, fine.
Good. Alright, so no damage done by the Ethereal, but he's not dead just yet. So, morale. I think you killed everything of mine that could have taken morale, so I don't think there's any morale that needs to be done. Well, there's the crisis suits over there, but they'll automatically pass because they only lost 1 guy. And that's it for Dark Angels turn 2. And yeah, I mean, you've got Cypher pretty much at this point. And
if the game were to end now, I'd win.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, there's still at least 2 more turns to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, I mean, like, I've got battle suits over here, but they're battle suits, they're not infantry, which means they can't control the objective. It has to be infantry, so it has to be these fire warriors, basically. These guys can't do it either, because they're battle suits too. And the drones are drones, so... Yeah, I mean, it really is a question of... Oh, I've got these fire warriors up here too, but yeah, it's really just a question now of can I get you off of Cypher and reclaim him before the game ends, and I reckon I can, but we'll see. I've had some pretty legendary whiffs in this game so far, so we'll see what happens. Alright, turn 3, up next. It's the end of the Tau's turn 3 movement phase. And, well, in a way, I suppose the art of the patient hunter Carrion is being implemented in a way, because mostly through accident on my part, not any kind of tactical genius, the formation of my units have kind of coalesced into a perfect firing line against what's left of the Dark Angels. We've got a huge, just sort of wall of guns, basically. The minutiae of what's happened is these broadsides have moved back. This one fell out of combat with them, so he's not going to be firing this turn because he doesn't have the fly keyword.
These Fire Warriors have stayed put. These ones have moved forward here. Fireblade has moved back. The Cold Star Commander has leaped all the way over this building and down onto here with his 20-inch move, which is insane. He moves another 20 inches if you advance him. So, but yeah, he's moved down here to provide his Unity Devastation abilities to nearby units here, mostly these Fire Warriors essentially. So, and up here the Crisis Suits have moved over this way along with their marker drones to lay down some fire on these foolish Imperials who deny the greater good. We shall show them why the good is greater. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, shooting phase coming up next, and we're going to blow some Dark Angels to bits, basically. We've reached the end of the tower shooting phase, almost, and this is the scene that we see before us. The tower gun line of Doom has had limited targets to choose from, because these guys are all still locked in combat with the Ethereal. So my Ethereal right now is, rather ironically, proving to be my undoing. I can't fall him back because he's trapped in there, which means those guys are all protected from me shooting at him. And to be honest with you, in this case at least, it makes sense. These guys would under no circumstances whatsoever put the Ethereal in any kind of danger whatsoever. So I can almost believe all of this lot refusing to shoot the Terminators in case they might hit the Ethereal. That actually does make sense, so I like it. In the meantime, everything except one final unit has fired. The Lieutenant was executed with plasma fire from the Crisis Suits. The Dreadnought has been destroyed with some choice shots from these Fire Warriors up here, actually. And this Land Raider over here has been reduced to a single final wound with 5 marker lights trained on it. And all that's left to fire is this unit of Fire Warriors down here. They got 6 shots with their pulse rifles. Let's see if they can finish off this Land Raider, or will it endure? So this is going to be 3s, rerolling 1s. Okay, there's 3 1s for us. Okay, so 4 hits. That's 5s to wound. We got 1 wound.
That's all you need.
No AP at all. Gonna make this 2 up.
2 up. Nailed it.
It lives! Marked for life. There it is. So, I have failed to destroy the Land Raider. It's, well, really, what have I killed now? With everything that I've fired, I've killed a Contemptor that was on 1 wound left.
And a lieutenant.
And a lieutenant. And that's kind of it. Took a huge heap of wounds off the Land Raider, to be fair, but yeah, I haven't quite technically killed it. So, here we are. This is the scene at the end of the shooting phase, at the beginning of the fight phase, as the Dark Angels, surrounded and massively outgunned and outnumbered, stand here in the middle in one act of final defiance as they execute grimly this Ethereal in front of the entire on-watching Tau Hunter cadre. I love it. I love it. They know their days are numbered. They know that they can't win this fight, but they'll be damned if they won't take the head off the snake before they disappear. So
we can still win.
We can still win. Dark Angels. Right, anyway, so yeah, it's fight phase now, so the Ethereal, he will try and slap the Terminators with his big bendy stick. So he gets 3 hits at least. It'll wound on 3s. He gets 2 wounds. No AP at all.
Okay, 2 up. Yeah.
Oh, I almost wanted him to kill one, and that would have been amazing, but no. So now you get to attack back and squish him before all of his on-watching comrades here, all of his fellow Tau.
I'm going to start with the Ancient, win this Power Fist, because
Okay.
why not? So he gets 4 attacks because of himself, and he's hitting on 4s. It doesn't actually hit with any.
Okay, awkward.
Never mind.
Sorry, I forgot to film that, viewers at home. I was too busy looking at the models. Sorry.
No, it's alright. It was best not to be filmed.
Okay.
Okay. Just give me a second.
Alright, so now it's the Chaplain. He's going to take the Ethereal's head with his Crozier Arcanum, which is not technically a sword for cutting, but whatever. He's just going to do it. It's going to be cool.
We've had enough of these daft fishmen, and he's gonna suffer not the Xenos to live. So on 2s, yeah, all good. And we're strength 5. So yeah, 3 wounds go through at -1.
Right, 6 up saves then. No. Oh, he makes 1, but no.
It's 2 damage each.
2 damage each. He is taught, as the Germans say. I like to think the chaplain bashes his skull here and grabs his corpse, picks it up and flings it at the feet of the on-watching Tau. Suffer not the Xenos to live, as they say. Alright, it's Dark Angel's turn 3. Movement and shooting summary. Land Raider has moved over this direction. It's crawled, really, with smoke and flames bellowing out of the back of the thing, but it's trundled very slowly over to here and opened fire with everything it's got, firing blindly into this crowd of battlesuits.
No, targeted fire into the fire warriors.
Oh, sorry, into the fire warriors. Originally we were going to shoot the battlesuits, but then changed our minds. So, yeah, no. Killed a couple of fire warriors in here, in this squad, and unfortunately that's it, really. Meanwhile, over here, this ancient is making his escape with Cypher. The Watchmaster... It's called the Watchmaster?
Just Master.
Just a Master. Okay, this Master raked some Stormbolt of fire up here at these fire warriors and is contemplating a charge. And meanwhile over here, these remaining Terminators, these Deathwing Knights have moved. Well, so do Terminators really run? It's a sort of shamble, I suppose. Stomped in the direction of this broadside, which they're going to charge and make a mess of. At least that's if they get their way. So that's the movement and shooting summary, really. Now we're doing charges, aren't we? So, what do you want to do first?
Well, let's start with the one that's least likely to do anything, and the Land Raider is going into these crisis suits.
Okay, the Land Raider is just going to plough straight into them with its assault launchers exploding in their faces, potentially. So,
do you want to do your own?
Yes, let's do that. So as this Guelar monstrosity barrels straight into my crisis suits, they've opened fire. The burst cannons did nothing. The fusion blasters on these guys did nothing. Now they've opened fire with their plasma, and we've got a 5-up save to make. A single 5-up save, if failed, the Land Raider is toast.
For the line.
No.
Oh,
it would have been epic, but no.
Oh, never mind. Does it explode? No.
Oh, I was going to say, at least let it explode. It'd been cool, but no. It, yeah, I think that final plasma shot goes straight through the driver's viewing port or something there and takes him out, and it just grinds finally to a halt. I'm sure they'll come back to recover it at a later date, though. So, that leaves us now...
Master charging up here.
Oh, right, these guys.
Yeah, sorry. We'll do this one.
Okay, no wounds done on the Overwatch by these fire warriors, and the Master has piled up here into them. I think he's going to take a few heads. Meanwhile, down here, the Chaplain is leading the charge into this broadside, and for the greater good has been activated, so all 3 broadsides will be firing at him as he charges in. There's an argument to be made that I probably shouldn't, so that in case I kill him, then I can use for the greater good on the Terminators as they come in afterwards. But after what that Chaplain did to our Ethereal, you better believe I'm going to open fire with all my twin plasma and all my rail rifles straight into his stupid face as he charges in. So, rail rifles first, hitting on 5s and 6s. Oh, we got 3 hits. Strength 8, so wounded on 2s. 3 wounds. AP -4. So
4 up in one with the Brosarius. 2 go through.
2d6 damage, and in fact, no, they're not melters. I don't get the 2d6. I keep forgetting that. That's fusion blasters, not rail rifles. All right, 2d6 damage. 5, 6.
He's dead.
He's dead. Rail rifle round straight through his chest.
Okay, so I'm going in with the Knights. So.
Right, yeah.
No greater good for you.
No, he can Overwatch again, but the other 2 can't get involved, so Yeah, rail rifle. 1 hit, no wound. And the plasma. 1 hit, no wound.
Excellent. The plan worked.
Okay.
Chaplain sacrificed himself. Are we in on a? Oh, I think it's like.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Definitely. There we go.
Cool.
Okay, and to finish off the charge phase, this would-be hero of the Imperium over here is going to charge my Cold Star commander. So I've got plenty of Overwatch to do. Am I going to for the greater good while I'm at it with these Fire Warriors and the Cadre Fireblade as well?
He's a medic. That'd be harsh.
Yeah, but you've ticked us off now by doing that to our Ethereal, so I'm not feeling very friendly, I must say. But yeah, no, in fact I will. But I'm going to start with the Burst Cannon. So high capacity Burst Cannon. So it gets 8 shots, and that was a 5. There we go. So yeah, okay, 4 hits. No wounding on 3s. 1 wound. No AP.
It goes through it.
Okay, so 1 wound down. Hey, man, he got to the rank of Chateau for a reason. He knows how to shoot. All right, fusion. I'm afraid it hits. I'm very sorry. 2's to wound. It wounds. AP -4.
Okay.
I think you probably get a 6-up save being a Terminator, right?
5 up.
Oh, you got an invul?
Yeah, Crux Terminatus.
Oh, of course you have, yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
It would have been a 5,
D6.
but your warlord was
Yeah,
still
no,
on the table.
it's the big 6. His dreams of being immortalised in the Imperium's records as a martyr are sadly...
We're Dark Angels. We don't make any records of any of this.
Oh, that's true. This never happened. He never died. They were never here. It's all good. Right, so now, fighting time. It's going to be these knights battering this broadside. Alright, the Deathwing Knights pretty promptly executed that broadside with their maces. That wasn't much of a contest, and they've consolidated into this guy who has fought back and done absolutely nothing, to no one's surprise. Meanwhile, up here on the rooftop, 3 Fire Warriors were killed and failed to retaliate as well. And that marks the end of the turn. I did roll morale for these Fire Warriors up here, and you know what? Fair play to them, they're standing their ground. So, that's the end of Dark Angels. Turn 3. Yeah, turn 3. And it's desperate times for you. But, I tell you what, you do actually still have Cypher, technically. So,
That's all I need.
Tau, turn 4. Let us put an end to these foolish shenanigans. Show these Imperials who's boss. Alright, it's the end of Tau, turn 4, movement phase. The following has happened. The crisis suits have launched forth out of these ruins. Some of them have moved forward to claim the body of the fallen Ethereal. Ensure it's safe and ready to transport back to Tau. Meanwhile, this broadside has fallen back out of combat. This one has moved back over in this direction, away from these knights. And the commander himself, I keep calling him the commander because I'll be honest with you folks watching at home, I've forgotten the name I gave him already. So I know it was something Sarah.
I'm pretty sure it was Simon, wasn't it?
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, yeah, sure, okay. It's something Sarah, because when I named him, I had to look up the Tau lexicon thing in the book to find out what it was. And Sarah is blade, or sword, or whatever. And his name translated into Gothic, I suppose, is the sheathed blade. That's who he is, because he generally tends to try and reason with people instead of just blowing them to bits. Hence his name, the sheathed blade. But I can't remember what his actual proper name is because I've forgotten it, sorry. But anyway, he's jumped over here with his Cold Star suit. And he's going to riddle this ancient full of plasma and all the rest of it. And try and at least contest Cypher here, even though he can't, as a battle suit and not an infantry model, he can't actually take control of it, but he can deny it at least by removing this guy. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to open fire immediately with his burst cannon. So he hits on 2s. I probably should have done like mark lights and stuff before this, but I can't shoot the Ancient with Marker Lights anyway, because he's a character and all that. But so yeah, he hits on 2s anyway, so that's good. A wound on 3s with his burst cannon. Okay, so obviously I'll be doing through Unity Devastation on the Ancient. So we've got 2 regular wounds. Ooh, and 3 at -1.
Okay.
So
2 regulars. Fine.
and then
3 at -1.
3 ups.
Also fine.
All right.
Who
First-
says Terminators aren't good?
All right. So the burst cannon did nothing. Fusion blaster hits. Wounds on a 2. Wounds. And yeah, it's AP -4.
5 up invuln. Terminators are rubbish.
All right. 2d6. Pick the highest for damage. It's 5 damage.
He dead.
He dead. Melted into sludge by the fusion blaster. All right.
I'm
So
always tempted to snap off the banner and just leave it there, but
you need to magnetize banners
Yes,
so we
yeah.
can do that next time. All right. So right, that leaves us with, well, we've got the master up here, we've got the knights down here, and that really is it. We've got cheeky little Cypher hanging around over here. He's probably quite amused by all this, I suppose. But these guys aren't amused by it. The Ethereal's dead. And these guys definitely aren't amused. So, I'm probably going to do this off camera. Alright, the shooting phase continues. These knights have been wiped out by a combination of broadside, fire warriors, and battle suits doing their thing. The knights have fallen under a just massive volley of plasma and missiles and all the rest of it. Now, the lone surviving Dark Angel on the table is the master up here, and I've already asked Andrew, is he going to teleport back to the battle barge? The answer is no. Because Grim Resolve. That's not the Dark Angel's way. So he's going to go down in a blaze of glory.
or am I?
Or are you, yes. But which means these crisis suits here are going to be firing at him next. And I thought I'd film it because it's epic. So 3 fusion to start with, hitting on 4s, 3 hits. Ooh, not good. Wounding on 2s, 3 wounds, I'm afraid. AP
Cool.
-4, so you got your invuln.
5 up. 2 go 3.
2d6 damage. 3.
He's still going.
He's still going, alright. And then we've got the burst cannons, so 4, 8, 12 shots. Hitting on 4s. And that's a lot of 1s. Let's see. How many hits did I actually get? Alright, that's it. That's why you use marker lights, people. Alright, so wounding on 3s. All 3 wound though.
Cool.
2 up saves.
All good.
All good.
I can still win this.
Next unit of crisis suits. 3 more fusion. Oh, knocking all over the scenery. Alright, 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. Oh, only 1 wound. Bosses is invuln save. He's still going. He won't die. What do I have left? I think that's it. I don't think I can. No, I've shot everything. These guys fired. He fired. He can't fire because he fell back. Commander's done it. Yeah, that's it. He's weathered the storm. He stands. He stands! Okay, so it's a summary of the entire Dark Angel's turn 4. The Master charged over here. He battered those 2 remaining Fire Warriors into bloody pieces and then leapt down here with his Consolidate move. And he now has Cypher by the scruff of his neck. And we don't. That's not good. So I guess we'll jump straight into Tau turn 5 now, since there's nothing else to do here. And,
Do you even need to move?
do I even need to move yet? No, somehow I don't think so.
You have your entire gun line to take 3 wounds off him. How many invuns can I make?
Right, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because, right, I'm gonna... One moment. Alright, some movement has occurred. He trolled me quite badly last time with his invulnerable saves and armor saves and all the rest of it, so I need to ensure he dies now. So the game does not end on turn 5 with a Dark Angel's victory somehow, because the embarrassment would be profound. So, I am going to start now with with my commander. So he's going to fire his burst cannon through Unity Devastation, obviously, on this master. It's impudent, bloody Imperial Spaceman. Alright. So, should have done the Marker Lights first. I'm a fool for not having done it, but never mind. 3's to wound. Okay, you got 4 2-up saves to make, sir.
1 goes through.
1 goes through.
He's down to 2 wounds left.
Okay, so fusion hits, wounds, no, D6 damage, 1.
He's on 1 wound left.
I hate to break it to you, but because it's fusion and I'm within half range, I do actually get to roll 2d6, pick the highest, so... It's fate! Destiny at work, folks! Alright, okay, there you go. So, 1 damage.
No,
That's
it.
You sure?
Yeah. If you got to roll 2d6... Oh, was 2d6
2d6 pick, yeah, it's 2d6 pick the highest.
Brilliant.
That's why it was so ridiculous.
I love it. Sorry, I thought that was it.
I've still got a missile pod. Yeah, okay, 2 hits, 3's to wound, 1 wound, -1. And I'm probably forgetting all my through Unity Devastation bits here.
That goes through though.
That does go through. He's fallen.
Toast. He's toast.
Cypher, the cheeky devil, has got his way. The Deathwing were destroyed in their pursuit of him.
But you know he slips away through the ruins.
Of course he does. Leaving the Tau without any answers and a whole heap of questions, I think. So, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching. It's been a very one-sided game, I won't lie, but it's been also a very entertaining one. So, Andrew, thank you very much for coming again.
My pleasure.
You've been an extremely good sport, all things considered.
I'm amazed it got to turn 5.
So am I in the end, to be honest with you. Him bossing those invulnerable saves up on the top there was something special though, so well done. So that's it, folks. I don't have much else to say at this point. It's been a hell of a game. And the Tau have finally made their debut, and they've made it pretty well, all things considered. They took on the mighty Deathwing, and they did very well for themselves. I was very impressed with the crisis suits after everyone telling me how terrible they're supposed to be. But there we go. So, few obligatory shout-outs at the end. My dice are from DZTV, deploymentzone.tv. My terrain, these bits with the bases on, is from 2009 Bragg Miniatures. This is Games Workshop stuff along with the crates and what have you. And the mat here is from gamemat.eu for the folks who ask me every now and again. That's where it's all from. So are these power generatory bits along the sides here. Those from gamemat.eu as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.